Top 7 morning habits to decrease creatinine and improve GFR. Cabracaber's Senior Health. Many people think kidney decline is about aging. It is not. It is about habits, especially the first ones each morning. Every time blood pressure spikes at dawn or sugar levels surge after breakfast, your kidneys take the hit. The result? Rising creatinine, falling GFR, and a future filled with hospital visits. Yet the fix lies in simple, proven actions that take minutes. These 7 morning habits to decrease creatinine and improve GFR could mean the difference between stable kidneys and irreversible loss. Habit number 1 is the 5-minute sodium and phosphate label audit. The kidneys are sensitive to salt. Every extra pinch forces them to work harder to balance fluids and blood pressure. High sodium makes blood vessels tighten, increasing pressure inside the kidneys. Over time, this extra pressure harms the delicate filters that remove waste. Imagine tiny coffee filters inside the kidneys becoming stiff and clogged. Once that happens, they cannot recover. That is why experts link morning sodium spikes with worsening protein leakage and faster decline in estimated glomerular filtration rate. Phosphate additives create another hidden problem. They are not the natural phosphorus found in nuts or eggs, but chemical additives that food manufacturers use to improve texture and color. These artificial phosphates are absorbed almost completely into the bloodstream. When that happens, the body releases more parathyroid hormone, which pulls calcium from bones to balance levels. The result is weaker bones and more kidney strain. Most people do not realize this because phosphate additives hide under complex names on food labels, words like sodium phosphate or dipotassium phosphate. So how can this be fixed in just 5 minutes? The answer lies in the label audit. Take your regular breakfast items and turn the box around. Look at the sodium percentage under daily value. Keep every item under 5%. That alone helps reduce the morning sodium load. Next, scan the ingredient list for anything with PHOS. If you find it, it is time for a swap. It only takes a minute to check, yet it protects the kidneys for years. What could be used instead? For protein, choose egg whites, plain Greek yogurt in small cups, or a spoonful of unsalted nut butter. These provide nourishment without extra salt or phosphate additives. For carbohydrates, use plain oats or low-sodium whole-grain toast instead of boxed mixes. For flavor, skip syrups and use cinnamon, vanilla, or fresh berries. They add sweetness without stress. Each swap gives the kidneys a moment to rest instead of fighting. This habit is simple but powerful. When done daily, it can lead to real results. Studies show that consistent sodium reduction can lower systolic blood pressure by around 5 to 6 millimeters of mercury within weeks. That small drop protects blood vessels, reduces pressure inside the kidneys, and even lowers the amount of protein leaking into urine. These are not abstract numbers. They represent slower damage, fewer complications, and better comfort in daily life. Still, every kidney journey is different. Those with advanced chronic kidney disease must confirm their protein and phosphorus goals with their healthcare provider before changing breakfast routines. The goal is not restriction for the sake of it, but smart protection guided by evidence. With the right plan, even a simple breakfast can become part of healing instead of harm. Think about it this way. Every time you choose a low-sodium, phosphate-free breakfast, you give your kidneys a calm start to the day. Blood flows more easily, pressure eases, the kidneys breathe a little easier. All it takes is 5 mindful minutes. And when those minutes turn into habit, the numbers on your lab report start to shift in the right direction. This one action can truly change the morning rhythm of your kidneys. But breakfast is just the first step. The next morning habit to improve kidney health strengthens this effect even more. Psyllium preload. Before breakfast. Before we move on, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If you're working to ease the kidney problems naturally, make sure to subscribe to Knowhow and turn on the notification bell. And if this content helps you, type 1 in the comments or 0 if it doesn't. I want to keep improving for you. Some mornings begin with pressure in the gut, sugar surges after eating, and a fog that feels impossible to shake. What if one small glass could change all that? The answer hides in a humble fiber called psyllium. It is not a supplement to hype metabolism or flatten the belly. It is nature's quiet way of helping the kidneys breathe easier by cleaning up what the gut leaves behind. Before breakfast, a single teaspoon mixed in water can set the tone for the entire day. When food reaches the gut, it begins to ferment and release waste products. Among these are small toxic precursors such as p-cresol and indoxyl sulfate. The body tries to filter them out through the kidneys, but when they build up faster than they can be cleared, they damage the tiny filters responsible for cleansing the blood. Psyllium creates a soft, gel-like barrier that captures many of these toxins before they enter circulation. Think of it as a gentle broom sweeping the digestive tract clean before the kidneys have to take on the load. The fiber also changes the way sugar enters the bloodstream. Instead of a sharp spike after breakfast, glucose rises more slowly. That means less oxidative stress, fewer sugar-induced inflammatory hits, and steadier energy through the morning. For someone with early or moderate kidney decline, this simple effect can mean slower damage over time. Every stable glucose reading is like a breath of relief for overworked kidneys. How can such a small action make such a difference? The process is simple but powerful. Mix about 1 teaspoon or approximately 5 grams of psyllium husk into a glass of water. Stir quickly and drink it before it thickens, ideally 10 to 15 minutes before breakfast. Then take a few extra sips of water to help it move smoothly through the gut. Those on fluid restrictions can count this water toward their daily allowance. Once the fiber reaches the intestines, it expands slightly, softening stool and improving bowel regularity. The goal is one comfortable, complete movement each day. Consistency matters more than dose. Start small, observe how the body responds, and increase gradually to around 10 grams if well tolerated. If bowel movements are slow or constipation is common, start gently to avoid discomfort. Those with known bowel blockages should skip psyllium entirely. It is also important to take it at least 2 hours apart from any medication, since it can delay absorption. These small details protect both comfort and safety. Over the next few weeks, the changes unfold quietly but clearly. Many people notice less bloating, lighter digestion, and improved fasting glucose. Some see gradual improvements in the blood urea nitrogen to creatinine ratio as toxin clearance improves. Even cholesterol may shift low-density lipoprotein levels, which often dip as soluble fiber pulls excess cholesterol out of the body. All of these shifts combine into one clear message. The kidneys are under less pressure. The beauty of this habit lies in how effortless it becomes. Once it fits into the morning rhythm, the gut begins working like a trusted teammate to protect the kidneys. The day feels lighter. The stomach settles faster. And instead of hunger spikes or crashes, there is steady clarity that lasts until lunch. But there is another layer of protection waiting right after this one that does not involve food or supplements at all. It starts with breathing. The next habit, the 3 to 5 minutes of nasal box breathing, uses oxygen and rhythm to reduce kidney strain from the inside out. Morning begins, and for many, the body wakes before the mind does. The heart beats faster, breathing turns shallow, thoughts race. This silent surge of stress, the sympathetic response, can quietly raise blood pressure and strain the kidneys before the first sip of coffee. But imagine reversing that surge within minutes, using nothing more than breath. The 3 to 5 minutes of nasal box breathing create that reset. It is a small ritual that calms the nerves, softens blood pressure, and steadies the body from the inside out. Every morning, the nervous system acts like a switch. When it tilts towards stress, blood vessels narrow, including those that feed the kidneys. This tightening reduces blood flow, forcing the kidneys to work under pressure. Over time, that daily strain builds, just like a river forced through a narrow pipe. But when breathing slows and lengthens through the nose, the body receives a signal of safety. The heart rate eases, blood vessels open, oxygen flows more evenly. Research shows that just a few minutes of this kind of breathing can lower systolic blood pressure by around 4 to 6 millimeters of mercury, an effect powerful enough to protect delicate kidney filters over time. The method is simple but requires mindfulness. Sit comfortably in a chair with the back supported and shoulders relaxed. Close the mouth gently and inhale through the nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for another count of 4. Then exhale slowly through the nose for 6 counts. At the end, pause again for 2 counts before beginning the next round. That pause gives the body time to rest in the stillness between breaths. Continue for 3 to 5 minutes. Let the rhythm feel natural, not forced. What makes nasal breathing so different? The nose warms, filters, and humidifies the air, improving oxygen exchange in the lungs. It also boosts nitric oxide production, which helps blood vessels relax. Mouth breathing does the opposite. It dries airways and signals tension. So, when the morning starts with nasal breathing, it not only calms the mind, but also improves blood flow throughout the body, including the kidneys. To add another gentle boost, include ankle pumps during breathing. Flex and point the feet 20 to 30 times while maintaining the breath rhythm. This small movement increases circulation from the legs back to the heart, improving venous return without the strain of exercise. It is especially helpful for older adults who want to support circulation safely without standing or walking right away. The goal is not perfection, but consistency. Some mornings will feel calm from the start. Others will begin with stress or distraction. That is normal. What matters is showing up and letting the breath do its quiet work. For those who track their blood pressure, measuring before and after can reveal the impact. Over a week, the numbers often tell the story a few points lower each time, and a noticeable sense of steadiness through the morning. That gentle calm helps balance glucose, reduces tension, and protects kidney function in ways medication alone cannot. But the next habit adds something new, a physical anchor that strengthens vessels, improves circulation, and reinforces the blood pressure benefits of calm breathing. It is time to use the body itself as medicine through the isometric hand grip protocol. Blood pressure often rises quietly with age, creeping up in small numbers that many ignore until it becomes a threat. Yet few people realize that lowering it can begin with something as small as a hand squeeze. The isometric hand grip protocol is a science-backed, low-impact routine that helps the body build vascular strength in minutes. It does not require sweat, equipment-filled rooms, or long workouts. Just steady effort, calm breathing, and a simple rhythm that signals the blood vessels to relax. When muscles contract and hold tension without movement, the body triggers small adjustments in how the blood vessels respond to pressure. This steady tension trains them to expand more easily, improving their flexibility. That flexibility means lower resistance to blood flow, and lower resistance means reduced blood pressure. Over time, this effect adds up. Studies show consistent practice can bring systolic blood pressure down by 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury within 2 months. For the kidneys, that drop can mean years of slower decline in filtration rate and less protein leakage. It starts with just a few minutes of attention. Sit comfortably, feet flat on the floor, shoulders relaxed. Begin by warming up the hands for 1 minute with gentle squeezes, almost like kneading dough. Then grip the dynamometer or a simple spring hand gripper and squeeze it at about 30% of your maximum strength. Hold that steady pressure for 2 minutes, then release and rest for 1 minute. Switch hands and repeat. Continue alternating until each hand completes 4 holds. The whole process takes around 12 minutes, but beginners can start with shorter, 1-minute holds to build endurance gradually. During this exercise, breathing becomes the anchor. Never hold your breath. Exhale gently as the grip is held, allowing the heart and lungs to stay synchronized. Holding the breath traps pressure in the chest, which can raise blood pressure temporarily, the exact opposite of what this routine aims to achieve. Keep the breath natural, light, and rhythmic. This simple awareness multiplies the benefits. The best part of this practice is its accessibility. It can be done while sitting at a table, watching television, or listening to music. It suits older adults or anyone who cannot perform intense exercise, but still wants measurable results. The only requirement is consistency. 4 mornings each week are enough to train the blood vessels to relax more easily throughout the day. Safety remains key. If you experience chest discomfort, arm pain, or severe hand strain, stop immediately. Those with unstable heart conditions should consult their clinician before beginning. But for most, this routine is safe and surprisingly refreshing. The slow squeeze and release act like meditation for the muscles, channeling restlessness into calm power. The small strength built in the hands often ripples through the body. Many notice steadier energy, fewer morning blood pressure spikes, and a sense of grounded focus that carries through the day. When the numbers on the monitor begin to drop by even a few points, it brings quiet motivation to keep going. Those small drops over time protect kidney function, heart health, and overall vitality. But after all this internal control, the next step looks outward to the natural world. Because one of the most powerful ways to stabilize blood pressure and circadian rhythm begins not with movement or supplements, but with light. The next habit, the first light sun anchor, shows how morning sunlight can tune the body's internal clock and guard kidney health from the very first moment of the day. If you're finding this helpful so far, please take a second to like this video. It may seem small, but it tells YouTube that this message matters and helps Knowhow reach more people who truly need it. If you believe others deserve this knowledge too, tap that thumbs up now. The morning sun holds a kind of healing that no pill can copy. Before the noise of the day begins, the first light quietly resets every clock inside the body. The heart, the kidneys, the hormones that control energy and blood pressure. Most people rush past this moment, drawing the curtains or reaching for their phone instead. Yet those 5 to 10 minutes of daylight can shape the entire day's balance. This is the power of the first light sun anchor. When the eyes first meet natural light, even without looking directly at the sun, the brain receives a powerful signal. It is morning. That message travels to the hypothalamus, which begins adjusting cortisol, melatonin, and body temperature. The result is a more natural rhythm, alert in the day, restful at night. This gentle synchronization reduces blood pressure spikes, steadies blood sugar, and protects kidney function in ways that no artificial light can. It is nature's version of pressing the body's reset button every morning. The link between daylight and kidney health may seem indirect, but it runs deep. A stable circadian rhythm helps the kidneys time their filtration cycle efficiently. When the internal clock is off, blood pressure tends to rise at night, and glucose control weakens during the day. Over time, this imbalance quietly accelerates kidney decline. Sunlight also plays another vital role, maintaining healthy vitamin D levels. People with lower vitamin D often show faster loss of kidney function and weaker bones, a pattern seen frequently in chronic kidney disease. Morning sun, even in small doses, helps the body produce this essential nutrient naturally. The habit itself could not be simpler. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, step outside for 5 to 10 minutes. No sunglasses if the light is comfortable and safe, since the eyes need to sense brightness to trigger the brain's morning response. Look toward the sky, not directly at the sun, and allow the light to reach the eyes. Some prefer to combine it with a slow walk to the mailbox, a stretch on the porch, or just standing on the balcony. The key is a gentle presence, no phone, no multitasking, just allowing the body to register daylight. For those with limited mobility, sitting by an open window where sunlight fills the space works too. The light itself is what matters most. Skin protection remains important, so short exposure during mild morning light is usually safe. What follows is often subtle but noticeable. Sleep becomes deeper within a week or two, mornings feel calmer, and blood pressure readings begin to show less variation from day to day. Energy stays steadier, making it easier to follow diet goals, stay hydrated, and take medications on time. But light alone cannot tell the full story of morning health. After aligning with nature, the next step turns inward again to the body's subtle signals of change. What happens to the ankles, fingers, and even the scale each morning can reveal how well the kidneys are managing fluid balance. The next habit, the morning edema and weight log, shows how to catch these early warnings before they become crises. The kidneys work all night to filter excess fluid and waste from the blood. When they start to struggle, that balance falters. Extra water stays behind in the tissues, pushing blood pressure higher and stretching the heart's workload. The swelling might seem minor at first, but it builds. Left unnoticed, that extra fluid can lead to sudden weight gain, shortness of breath, or dangerous blood pressure spikes. That is why catching changes early before symptoms worsen makes such a difference. The first number to watch is weight. Keep the same morning routine each day. Empty the bladder, step on the scale before breakfast, and use the same scale in the same spot, wearing light clothing. Write the number down or note it in a simple phone log. If the weight rises by more than 2 pounds in a single day, or more than 5 pounds in a week, that is a red flag. It could mean fluid is building up faster than the kidneys can release it. That early warning gives time to adjust medications or salt intake before the body reaches a breaking point. Next, look at the ankles or lower legs. Sit comfortably and press a thumb into the shin for 3 seconds. If a dent remains after lifting the finger, it is called pitting edema, which is a clear sign that fluid is pooling in the tissues. Note whether the swelling is mild, moderate, or severe. Also, pay attention to small details like how easily shoes slip on or whether rings feel tighter than usual. Breathlessness, especially when lying flat, is another early signal that fluid may be affecting the lungs. Recording these small details daily might seem tedious, but it is one of the simplest ways to protect kidney and heart function. Patterns tell the story. If swelling appears more often or weight rises steadily, call the clinic instead of waiting for symptoms to worsen. That short phone call allows doctors to guide medication or diet changes before the situation becomes an emergency. Many hospital visits for fluid overload could be avoided if this small daily habit became routine. Consistency is what makes this log powerful. Over time, it becomes second nature, just another step in the morning rhythm. Seeing stable numbers brings reassurance. Watching swelling decrease after sodium adjustments builds confidence that choices are working. It becomes a quiet partnership between awareness and healing. This habit is more than measurement. It is self-connection. It helps the body speak and helps the mind listen. Those 2 minutes of observation build trust in the process of recovery. They remind us that health is not always found in big actions, but in small, steady attention. And once those numbers stay steady and swelling calms, there is another hidden threat waiting in the kitchen, the kind that hides in familiar packages and flavors. Because the very ingredients that make breakfast convenient can silently harm the kidneys over time. The next habit, the PHOS sweep of your breakfast pantry, reveals how a simple weekly cleanup can erase one of the most damaging kidney toxins from the first meal of the day. Every kitchen holds quiet dangers that rarely look like danger at all. The boxes are colorful, the jars familiar, the smell of breakfast comforting. Yet hidden inside many of these morning foods are chemical forms of phosphorus that act like acid on the kidneys and bones. They do not just enter slowly over years, they hit fast, pushing phosphate levels up within hours, forcing the body to release more parathyroid hormone. That hormone then pulls calcium from the bones and strains the kidneys even more. The result is a slow erosion of strength that many never trace back to the pantry. That is why the PHOS sweep is not just a cleaning habit. It is a rescue mission for the kidneys that takes 10 mindful minutes once a week. It is simple, quiet, and transformative. The goal is clear. 0 phosphate additives at breakfast. These are not the natural phosphates found in fresh foods, but artificial ones added to make food creamier, fluffier, or last longer on the shelf. They are absorbed almost completely by the body, far more than the phosphorus from natural foods. For someone with fragile kidney function, that fast absorption can be the tipping point that accelerates decline. The sweep begins with awareness. Once a week, usually in the morning when breakfast foods are in sight, pull every item connected to your first meal of the day out onto the counter. This means boxes, jars, creamers, and mixes. Turn each one around and look at the ingredient list. Scan for the letters PHOS. If you see words like sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, or dipotassium phosphate, the product belongs on the right side of the counter. Those are the toss or replace items. On the left, place the keeper's foods that are free from phosphate additives and ideally lower in sodium. The process might seem repetitive at first, but the impact grows quickly. After 1 or 2 sweeps, the pantry begins to change shape. Plain oats replace boxed mixes. Fresh eggs or egg whites take the place of processed meats. Creamy drinks shift from flavored creamers to unflavored dairy or plant-based milk without additives. Fresh fruit becomes the sweetener of choice instead of syrup or powdered flavoring. These small swaps protect not only the kidneys, but also the bones and heart. Tracking progress brings its own motivation. Over the next 1 to 3 months, many people notice their lab results shift in quiet but steady ways. Serum phosphate and parathyroid hormone levels begin to stabilize. Itching lessens, fatigue eases, Blood pressure steadies as circulation improves. Even creatinine levels can show more consistency once phosphate stress eases off. These are signs that the kidneys are breathing easier, filtering more smoothly, and managing mineral balance without being overloaded. If this video was helpful, please don't leave without subscribing to Knowhow. And if you feel like I truly understood your struggle and offered a solution that matters, type the word relief in the comments. I'd love to know if this helped you.